If you had your visa refused because of a bank statement, or you are here to apply for a visa and then you don't know how to go about your bank statement, the amount of money you should have in your bank statement, the closing balance or the final balance you should have in your bank statement, and then stay here to the end of the video. Now, these are some of the things UK and then the European countries, consulates think when they are examining your application, right? So, as a registered travel consultant, we've seen a lot of cases. We've received a lot of refusal letters from our clients. You see, if you haven't checked our TikTok is also there available with more than 3K, get approximately 3K, and it's still counting followers, and then as well as YouTube. We have been in the field for many years, and then we have a lot of experience when it comes to this application. So I've gathered everything that you have to know about your bank statement here in this video, so stay here to the end of the video. So I'll classify that under 3 categories. So we are going to have a business person who is employer, self-employed, right? And then individuals, let's say employee, you are working under somebody, right? And then finally a sponsor side. So those are the 3 categories that I'm going to talk about. So the first one is going to be the business part. A business person. How can a business person run his or her bank statement to get the visa approved? All these things are based on what? On experience. Now, I've listed down everything here, so I'll break everything down for you step by step. The UK and the European consulates do not just check your final statement. Is that okay? The last refusal letter I heard from one of the clients, I think, yes. So what he did is that he opened just a new account, let's say July, and then he applied for the visa in somewhere, is it September or August? Is that okay? A new account in July, and then you apply for somewhere in September or August. Yes, if I'm not mistaken. Then the amount of transaction he had from that short period of time, nobody will tell you that this account is not genuinely run. It is solely open for the travel purpose. So if they see that, they just assume that you are just finding a way to enter their country, and then you will not return back. Is that okay? So they don't normally look at the closing balance, not just the closing balance or the final balance in your bank account. So how well you have been running your account consistently, right? So how the income flows. So let's break everything down one by one. So what they check here is consistencies of income. So consistency means that at least for the past 6 months. Is that okay? For the past 6 months, that is the most important thing here, right? For the past 6 months is the key here. So you have to download your bank statement for the past 6 months, right? So consistency means that continuously, right? Continuously, how well have you been running your bank statement? I know there are a lot of videos on this platform, on this YouTube platform here. We've checked a lot of them, but this year we are solving a real life for cases, right? So consistency of income is okay. If you're a business person here, in your business account, how well have you been running your business account? So in and out of a transaction, that is exactly what we are talking about here. Is that okay? Okay, so as a business, of course, the money is coming from the customers, your debtors. So the money is coming from those who buy from you. Is that okay? They are your customers. And then that is where your money is coming from. How do you run your business? It depends on the type of business that you are running. If you sell something, it means that you have to get the goods from the suppliers. The suppliers gives you the goods, and then you sell to the customers. So that is it. You are in the middle. Obviously, something like this. This is a supplier. The goods come to me, and then I sell to these people, right? So these are what the customer. So the money, my money is coming from these people. You are paying this supplier, and then these people are also paying you. Are you getting the point? So all these things has to be a transaction from your account. Is that okay? So if you are paying, you pay through. Okay, narration is very, very important here if you want to run your bank statement peacefully, right? So if you are sending money to the supplier, you have to indicate that amount for, let's say this is a pen, amount for this pen to this supplier. Is that okay? Perfect. The same way, if your customers are also paying you, they have to make sure that they are adding a narration. So payment for this pen. Obviously, there's a business going on here. Perfectly. So that is how where you can run your bank. Simple like that. That is how you can run your bank statement. Is that okay? Very, very simple. So once they ask you to print a statement, there's nothing beyond they want to see a consistent transaction while you have been requested to provide your bank statement. Right? So that is how your business goes. Now, if you have a separate account for the business, right? So you have a separate account. What happens at the end of the month? It's okay. So at the end of the month, what you normally do here is that you transfer the income. I'm not saying the money for the business. Income that you had, you transfer that into your personal savings. And I always advise everybody to have a business account and then a personal savings account. Always the conclusion of the visa when it comes to this bank statement depends on what your personal savings account. Right? So you transfer the income, the money that you gain from your transaction into your personal savings account. So if you are transferring that money, you have to indicate the scenario that this is an income from that period of time, and then you transfer it into your personal savings account. Is that okay? On the other hand, some people are also using their personal account to run a business. So if that's the case, you have to justify, right? So you have to justify the source of an income, right? You have to justify that in the form of a letter. Is that okay? Maybe, by the way, if you want to see how you can justify that, I may leave a link to a sample of what that justification letter you can add as a supporting document under the proof of finance when you are filling maybe a UK application, or if you want to apply for any of the Schengen areas, then you can add that as a supporting document to show the justification, how to justify your income to that. Okay, by the way, along the road, if you have any questions, just make sure that you comment in the comment section below. Now, so the transaction pattern, I think I've already explained that is the business and then the personal. So I've already spoke about the business. So what about the personal? Is that okay? So the personal is also the same thing. So personal, you see, most of us in Africa, we don't normally value how well we can use our bank account to make all our transactions. When it goes to the western part of the world, everything is electronic. Almost everything is electronic and then digital. Are you getting the point? Anything that they do that through the transaction, through their cards, right? So through their bank account. But in Africa, most of it is the cash and then sometimes the Momo, right? So the mobile transaction. So if you are planning to travel, you have to make sure that you adapt that system. Is that okay? So when it comes to the personal, anything that you want to make a purchase, like something like this, you want to buy this, what you have to do, you have to transfer the money using your bank account to the what? To the seller, right? By indicating that amount for or payment for this particular thing. Is that okay? So all these things build up what? Your transaction. And then always have in mind that you don't spend more than your income. So that way your income is going to accumulate, right? So stay here. This video is gonna be a little bit longer, but I can guarantee you that by the end of this video, you shouldn't have any issue with your bank statement again. Is that okay? All right. So perfect. Now, the next one here is a proof that the money belongs to you. So how do you prove that the money belongs to you? It's all about what? A letter writing, right? So in your cover letter, in your justification, you can explain that with a document. Is that okay? So if you are running a business, of course you have an invoice. So don't take things for granted. So you have an invoice. The next one is that they want to check whether your account activities matches your business transactions, what you have been doing. Okay, let me give you this scenario. There was this guy here who got refused for having too much. I think if you're a follower, you have ever heard that story before, right? He got refused for having too much funds in his bank statement, whilst the other ones are also having insufficient proof of fund for his own is over. The reason being is that he's an employee. He work under a certain company, right? So that company pays the person. But no, no, he has a side hustles that have been fetching him some small income. So when they did the calculation, they found out that the money that he says he has been receiving per month from the company, it outweighs the balance in his account. Obviously, he couldn't justify the source of the income, right? So that is why you always have to get that letter and have the format, of course, at a fee. Is that okay? Just a small fee, and then you get that knowledge, right? So they always want to check whether your activities, your business activity matches your income. If you have a different source of income, obviously you have to make sure that you list all. Don't just list one. Is that okay? And then prove them with some document, any document that you want to attach that shows that I have a legit business transaction. Right? Okay, so perfect. What to be the next one here? So now a big one-time deposit right before applying can cause a doubt. That one there, you don't need to do that. Avoid that because you want to travel, so you are making such a huge transfer into your account. It's okay. Now, if that is the case, you have to prove it. It's okay. Maybe you have some goods or item that you sold out or you have given out to a customer, and then the customer is paying you. Is that okay? The customer is paying you. So if the customer pays you, there must be a narration and evidence attached to that. Are you getting the point? So what is the evidence here? So invoice can be the evidence. So maybe this is the invoice of goods you sold to this particular person, and then the person pays you in his or her name. It's okay. If it's a business to business, that is going to be a narration. So make sure that they transfer into your bank account, and then you justify that in your cover letter. Very simple and straightforward. Are you getting it? By the way, if you don't understand something, once again, don't hesitate to comment in the comment section below. So the next ones are they want to see that your balance makes sense based on your regular income. So this is the regular income we are talking about here. So regular, how much do you get per month? How much do you get per week? How much do you get per 2 weeks? Based on how you transfer your money from the business to the personal savings account, or if you are using your savings account, how well you save that money into your account. Is that okay? All right. Now, I have a very simple scenario here that says that a 10 days trip on a tourist visa, or maybe a visitor standard UK visa, or maybe this can even be to Europe. Is that okay? But let's use a pound for instance. You see, if you do something like this, you are making the work very simple to the consular to decide on your visa. Right? And then you are telling the consular that you know exactly what you are doing. Are you getting the point? Now, so you say you are going to a 10-day trip, so a flight must be from your country to their country, and then the return. So you are estimating between 700 to 900 pounds here. Make sure that is the key here. So your flight, if you are making the reservation, make sure that you always check the amounts that you are supposed to pay for the flight, and then do that calculation according to the your bank statement. Okay, if your flight you are going for you are using a business trip, a business flight or something like that, is that okay? First class, you have to make sure that you go according to that statement. If you are going by economy, you have to make sure that you go according to that. So if you are drawing your itinerary, or maybe you are justify your source of income, as part of this, you can say my flight is going to be, okay, let's say that is between 900 and to 700, let's assume 700 to 900 pounds. That is one. Accommodation, maybe you have to reserve a hotel, right? So if you reserve a hotel, being a tourist, this one is being assuming that you don't know anybody, right? If you know someone, on the other hand, if you know someone, that the person must what accommodate you. So in that case, the person must provide his resident permit, ID card, and then proof of tenancy agreement, anything to show that they have a room for you when you come on a visit. Is that okay? On the other hand, if you are going by yourself, you have to reserve the accommodation in the hotel. Let's say 10 nights, 10 nights, so per night, let's say £60 per night. You have to multiply that by 10, which is going to be £600, right? Okay, so the local transport and the feeding, you are estimating for the whole 10 days, it will be £250, right? So, and then what about the shopping? You want to make some shopping, small purchase, and then maybe £150. That is your target here, and then you are going to have an approximately total of £2,000. That is for the whole trip, right? So that is for the whole trip. That doesn't mean that you should have that money in your account. Always have more than that. So your account should be always more than that, to show that, okay, after the holiday, you still have some money in your bank statement. When you come back, you are free. Are you getting? But that is the point here. So if that is exactly amount in your bank statement, then your visa is not going to approve. Are you getting the point? They are not going to approve that, because you can't save the whole money and then just go and spend out on holiday